Okay, hi everybody. Welcome back to Giver.
Hello, you guys.
We're back for another episode, and this is actually a little bonus episode. We're doing a part 2 of gut health because Courtney talked for way too long last time.
I did. I'm sorry, you guys. It was supposed to be like a little bit of my story, questions, and then like tangible things, and it just kind of turned into like the whole time like, oh my gut health story. But holy
No,
shit, this is long.
it was so good though. I feel like you shared so much in terms
Yeah.
of like the physical and the mental and different stages in your life and like how you got through them. So I feel like it was really important.
Yeah, for
And
sure. It was
I think today when you like are answering the questions and like giving takeaways, there's context now of how you actually learned all these things.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It can I want to start by like saying that it can be really confusing, like on the internet, even when it comes to like fitness. Like, should I do Pilates and yoga? Should I do weight training? Should I do CrossFit? Like, should I eat how this person's eating or eat how this person's eating? Like, I just feel like it can be really, really overwhelming. So I don't want to make these like questions. Like, I don't want to answer these, and Mel doesn't want to answer these to like add more confusion. I just really want to keep it simple because I think that is like key when it comes to your health. Really do. So
Yeah, simple and consistent,
yes,
right? Because
yes,
like if you're
yes.
constantly like, oh, I want to try paleo, I want to try vegan, I want to try carnivore, and you're not even really giving yourself enough time to even see if your body is happy or reacting or anything like that.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
con-
Exactly. You need to really just be consistent, also give it time too.
yeah,
Cause like,
patience.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So,
What else? I was going to say something else. Now I can't remember. Oh, I also think like there's a lot of overthinking sometimes. You know what I
mm,
mean? And obviously I'm sure there are times when there's like a serious health issue that does require like a lot of digging and a lot of like not overthinking but analyzing to figure out what's going on, but a lot of
yes.
times too much information almost makes you think that you have to have this under control and you have to do that and you have to do that, and sometimes it's really not that complicated.
Yeah.
If you're doing something and it feels good, that can be enough too, you know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. It's not like we need, if you feel good, it's like, why change?
Mhm.
Why keep changing things around or adding more things in? Like, just like simplify, really
Mhm.
simplify. And yeah, just like get back to the basics with your health. And I think a lot of what I'm going to answer here, and you too, Mel, like, is just about simplifying. So, yeah.
Okay, well, do you want to dive in?
Yeah,
You
let's
leave for
do it.
Italy tomorrow.
I know. I leave for Italy.
Are you
God.
ready?
I'm ready. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah,
It'll be really fun.
you guys are gonna have a nice time. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, thanks,
And then
Mel.
I'm
Oh,
happy that you guys will be not traveling for a little bit after.
wait, Mel, you broke up. You're paused.
So
Are
were
you
you.
good?
Yeah,
Oh shit.
it's okay.
Okay. What did you say?
I said I'm happy you guys won't be traveling for a while after this trip too.
I know. He has to travel like 2 weeks after. Well,
He
technically
does?
like 2 days after Orlando, and me too.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, there's that
But then
thing.
we're home, and then he goes and does like a little seminar thing with Hani
Where is that?
in New Jersey.
Oh, New Jersey. Okay.
Yeah, on the
Oh yeah,
17th.
that's Father's Day weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
my dad was gonna go, but now they're
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, I know. Chris was
Okay.
gonna like want to go to Canada too, but then they're going on that trip.
Yeah, I know. My mom said that. My mom was like, well, he said he's going to come down in August. And I was like, maybe he is, Mom. I don't know, but we won't be here. We're going to be in
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can come to Florida for your birthday if
Yeah.
you want. And she was like, well, Christopher said he's coming here. And I was like, okay, whatever you want, Mom.
Yeah. Just whatever.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into these questions.
Okay, you guys. So these are in like no order. Um, I'm just gonna kind of read some of the most common ones asked. A lot of them were like repetitive with like supplements and stuff. So we're just gonna kind of jump right into it. So the first question is there a test you can take to see what foods affect your gut?
Mm.
Which yes, like you can do, me and Mel actually just kind of recently talked about this. Remember when we were talking about the food sensitivity and like
Yeah,
the food and
I was asking you for Ian, wasn't I?
yes, and I
Yeah.
feel like yes, there are tests you can do through like blood. Um like you can do like a food allergy test. Like I did one like a while ago where they put all these like little like I don't know, pricks in your back and it sees like if your skin reacts, it shows like what like that your immune system is responding to. So yes, there are tests you can do. Some doctors believe in them and some do not. But I even had one of those done like a while ago too with blood. And it was like, oh, you're intolerant to egg whites. But at the time, I was eating a ton of egg whites because I was competing. And it's like a very common prep food is like egg whites. You know, I was making like pancakes and like egg whites in my
Yeah,
thing.
just
And
like
yeah,
pure protein, low
yes, just
calorie protein. Yeah.
yes. And I was just over consuming them. So it showed that I like had not like a reaction, but I was like becoming like intolerant to egg whites. So, um, I think these like I'm not obviously I want to start by saying me and Mel, we're not doctors. We don't like know all the like right answers, but from like speaking from personal experience, there are tests you can do, but I think you're better off just like getting a food journal and like actually like getting in tune with your body and writing down what you eat. If you think like, "Ooh, I think like eggs are bothering me," or like coffee, like write it down like what you eat in a day and then like after if you are kind of having like if you're feeling like bloated or like not good, like maybe you cut that out for a bit and then see how you're feeling and if you're feeling better, it's like, "Okay, let's cut this out for a little bit and then like add it back in later when I give it enough time to like let my body like chill out," if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
So you want to, if you're having symptoms, you mean you want to
Yeah.
take it out until the symptoms are gone?
Yeah, like I personally like when I was having like issues with my gut, I remember coffee was like a huge irritant for me. I would get like really bad acid reflux, like my gut was like not or like spicy foods, ketchup, even like a lot of fats, like healthy fats, like avocado, almond butter, like I was having like really bad reactions. So I had to kind of eliminate those foods for a while and then I eventually started to add them back in slow, but I had to like let my gut and let my body like take a break because I was just reacting to them. So,
How did you know that those were the things that were hurting you?
because I could tell immediately, like when I would have coffee, I would start like
You would
feeling like
feel it.
burning in my chest and like it would come back up and I could never have coffee around food because then it would just make it like so much worse. Every time I had like stuff that like was acidic, even like lemon or I don't know, like mustards with vinegar, I would just feel burning. So I'm like, okay, this is obviously I was very checked into my body though and I also like formally competed like you so when like the slightest thing feels like off
Mhm.
you're
Mhm.
like ooh like that doesn't feel right because you're so in tune with your body and I think that's something more of us need to do is like really get in tune with your body and how you're feeling and like slowing down to like when you eat so you can actually like pay attention. Does that make sense kind of?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
mean, a lot of time I feel like we're just like in a routine or like,
not
we're
thinking.
creatures of habit. We just do the
Yeah.
same thing every day and we don't really realize like, oh my God, every time that I consume this, I get like whatever,
Yeah.
acid reflux or I have like super loose stool or like
Yeah.
whatever happens. And for me, I feel like it's good sometimes to like have a few days of like super simple eating
Yes.
and then I'll see how my digestion and how I'm feeling during those 2 days. And then I'm like, "Oh my god, this is probably a more healthy state for myself."
Mhm.
And then I'll go back to like old habits and then I'll notice those like not
Yes.
like like healthy things that you think are normal because you feel them every day too.
I know. I know. And also you see like I'm not trying to get off on a tangent here, but like you see people like, promoting like, "Oh, it's like normal to feel really bloated all the time or when you go to sleep or after you eat." Like, yeah, if you eat a huge meal or you're celebrating and you overindulge or you're having fun, whatever, and you
Mhm.
feel a little distension, yeah, that's probably normal. But after every meal that's like healthy, you shouldn't feel like a balloon. That's actually not normal. And it's like
Mhm.
very normalized. So I think if something feels off in your body, like you said, Mel, like actually like get in tune with it. Maybe take a break where you eat like really simple foods for
Mhm.
a few days,
Mhm.
uh, just really bland. And then, you know, if you have things that you thought was causing an issue and then you reintroduce them and you're like, oh wow, like this is causing some type of issue in my body. Like, yes, like does that make sense? Kind of like,
Yeah,
you
of
know? Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
I also think, like, for me, I used to always like bodybuilder, I would always eat my last meal right before I went to sleep.
Hmm.
And that was just what we did because I have no idea. I
Yeah.
hold on to muscle, so you need to have it's so stupid,
You're
you
gonna
know what
go
I mean?
catabolic or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh
Yeah.
god. So, but now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like shut it down a little bit earlier, a couple hours before I actually lie down. And now I'm like sleeping and waking up feeling so much better.
Oh my
And I'm like,
god.
oh my God, this is making such a difference. And I don't wear like a heart rate monitor or anything,
Yeah.
but I swear to God, if I eat too close to bed, I go to sleep and I feel like
Oh,
my
yeah.
heart's going too fast for me to actually be able to get a restful sleep. I'll still be able to fall asleep, but it's like not restful.
Totally, especially if you also eat, like, sugar or, like, something even healthy, like me, like granola, whatever, but right before bed,
Mhm.
and then it's like your body has to use energy to break down food. So your body is like can't even, like, tap into, like, deep sleep, recovery because it's using energy to, like, now break down a meal you just ate right before you lay down, which is
Mhm.
really not good at
No.
all
No.
for digestion. I'm not gonna say I'm perfect at this, like, I go to late dinner sometimes, sometimes I'm craving something, I like to snack late. I really, though, try not to because of that reason. Like, I've noticed so much with my own sleep, like you, Mel, like you just feel way better. You wake up, you feel better, your stomach feels better. Sometimes when you eat too late, too, like the food is like sitting in your stomach the next morning. It's like,
This is also so weird, but like I also feel like my oral hygiene is way better when I'm not first of all, obviously not eating sugar, that's so bad, but like when I'm not eating close to bed,
mhm.
my tongue, like everything and like I don't know, there's just
Yes.
so much shit that like I wake up if I wasn't great the night before and like I feel like I was mouth breathing, so things don't feel great in my mouth,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
my eyes are goopy, like weird
Yeah.
things. Whereas if I'm actually like, okay, eating foods that my body is okay with, and I'm giving myself enough time between eating and sleeping, I wake up and I'm like refreshed, like
Perfect.
ready to go. It's
Yes.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
so weird.
Yeah. I will say though, like back to this question, like obviously if you're like celiac or there's like, a an actual issue, like you can go get tested for that.
Well,
Um
so like gluten,
yeah, that's
dairy,
like
you can
celiac.
test for it too, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah, if you're lactose intolerant.
Or like obviously there's like allergy tests.
Oh, for sure. Yes,
Yeah.
like if you're allergic to whatever, peanuts or
Yeah,
shell,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
anything like that. Okay, next question. This is kind of leads right into the next question. Did you go gluten or dairy free to help with your gut health journey? Okay. Um I did. I did. Yes. I When I competed, I never
We're
really had like foods with gluten.
Yeah, I
Like
was gonna say you probably were gluten-free and dairy-free already, because
I
that's
was
kind of
yes, because you eat like you too, Mel. Like you eat
yeah.
so like clean when you're on a competition diet that you
Mhm,
don't have a little ice cream or because you just don't eat that. It's not on your plan. It's not on your
yeah,
diet plan. So like
mhm.
you're not just going to be eating dairy normally or cheeses or breads or pastries. Like you really don't. So I had years of like not eating that. Growing up, I never cut out, I had like normal cereal, even like healthy cereal or, what my mom thought was healthy, like Cheerios and stuff. I had stuff like that. I had like Ezekiel bread, that's wheat, that's gluten, sprouted. So it's like easier to digest. But I had all those things and I never had issues. I had milk, never had issues. It wasn't until I cut them for years and really never ate them. And then when I would try to like eat them again on like a cheat meal night or go have like a ton of frozen yogurt or whatever, I would feel like shit. But This is
I
also
is
very
that like an influx of
individualistic.
is that like an influx of too much sugar
That's
and
yes.
calories though?
I was gonna
Because
say
like,
that. Like you
if
are dieting and then you go slam your body with a ton of food. It's like, oh, I feel bad. Was it the dairy or was it
it's probably the sugar and the sodium and the calories,
exactly?
realistically.
Yeah, exactly. But I will say, like, I feel if you are having like extreme inflammation in the gut, I don't think, well, for me personally, like when I was dealing with like extreme bloating, acid reflux, couldn't keep it, I like having milk or like dairy based products or like I said, heavy fat was really hard for me to digest. Um, and I just and I never had like gluten like normally. Like I wouldn't go just like eat bread and stuff like that. So I personally did um cut those food groups just because I was in such a bad place, but I don't think like demonizing food groups is also healthy
No,
because
but
yeah.
gluten, especially like highly processed gluten, is quite inflammatory.
Oh yeah,
And
totally.
like
Like
when
yes.
people are thinking like, "Oh, I don't eat gluten," it's the if you're gonna go get like a like Courtney said, like sprouted grain bread that's made in the bakery, like that's probably not going to cause a bunch of inflammation. But if you're going to go get Wonder Bread, like
Yes.
like
Exactly, Mel.
I feel like
Exactly.
how the gluten is processed, our body, it, it's so different.
It's so different. Yeah, because even now, I don't eat it every day, but like I'll have sourdough bread, like
Hmm.
gluten. Like I will. I'm going to Italy. I'm gonna be eating pastries and gluten and pasta like you don't even believe because it's different. It's made different. There's not a bunch of like artificials and different things in it. It's just better. And
Well,
that's also
I also
you
think
go.
there's like fermentation, isn't there? So then
Yes, yes.
it's like
When
almost
it's
like it's pre-broken down before you're
yeah.
putting it in your body.
Yeah, which is good for the gut. And I feel the same way with like milk. Um this is so interesting that like this got brought up. I feel like me and Mel have talked about this. I have always been like a nut milk kind of gal, I've always been just a ton of dairy free, because it's like trendy. It's like cashew milk, almond milk, oat milk, freaking all the different kinds of milk besides milk. And I'm like, I don't like think over consuming like nuts and all and these milk forms like in a large amount, like I do, having like a shake with almond milk and then like a matcha with cashew milk and then a coffee with macadamia nut milk. Like I don't think over consuming all of these nuts is healthy. I really don't. And I was talking to Mel about this. I'm slowly incorporating like full fat whipping cream, like heavy whipping cream. It's like low pasteurized,
from
heated at a
grass from
yeah,
grass-fed cows though. Like
grass-fed
this is
cows.
like a big deal with dairy products.
Yes. Yes, because again, with dairy products, I think a lot of them are just like they're heated at high temperatures, which like kills like milk. There's like great bacteria in there,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
when you overheat it, it kills a lot of it. So I think where you get your wheat from and your bread, and like Mel said, like if it's when it's like sprouted and fermented sourdough is like that. And same with like your dairy, it's really it can make all the difference in how you feel. So
I also think it's really hard to find, especially if you're on like a grocery budget, to find nut milks or whatever non-dairy milks that don't have oil, like really bad oils in them. And like
mhm.
you don't want to be having like canola oil or sunflower oil or whatever these palm oil that are put
Yes.
in these milks to
So
make them,
inflammatory.
yeah,
Yeah.
to make them thick and or to make them more dairy like really. And those
Yeah.
are like before gluten, before dairy, I would avoid all those oils
Yeah.
before anything because that's like
Yes.
so unhealthy in the long term in terms of inflammation and like disease, really.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Yeah, those oils, like canola oil in like oat milk, I'm like, that is so bad. It's so bad. Like,
Yeah.
who wants to slam their body with like processed inflammatory oils first thing in the morning in their coffee. Like
Mhm.
it's really not good. So I just think like simple is better. So if you can't do dairy right now, if you can like find like a nut milk or a plant-based milk that has no oils preferably, and not a lot of gums, because a lot of these, dairy-free options are just loaded with like guar gum and xanthan gum and all these gums, which it's like that can be also really irritating to the gut.
Mhm.
So low gums, no oil preferably. That's a better option if you can't handle dairy. But like I'm trying to like change my eating around a lot. Like I eat very healthy, but I will have like my processed like boxed pancake mix sometimes or all of these nut milks. I'm like, okay, I want to like eat like single ingredient foods and I want
Mhm.
to focus more on like less processed, even though it's healthy, like less processed
Mhm.
stuff.
Mhm.
So, do you have anything else to add?
I don't think so.
No.
I'm like never like we're not scared of gluten, Ian and I for sure, like in this
Yeah.
household, but like it's easy for me to say that when we actually just don't eat it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Right.
we don't go out and buy like the expensive gluten-free oats.
No.
Um but like aren't oats naturally gluten-free?
Yeah, they can
It's
have like a
just like
cross contamination
yeah,
process, like
they're made in the wrong like factory or
mill.
something,
Yes.
and like
Yeah.
we're not celiac obviously, so we don't have to worry about that. But other than the oats that are in our house, there's probably nothing like we don't eat bread. We don't
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
so I just think it's less about like these buzzwords of like gluten and dairy and more about the ingredients that you're consuming and
Yes.
where your food is coming from. So
Yes.
if you want to eat or drink milk or cheese or whatever, that's great, but like make sure it's from like a grass-fed cows and there's not like a lot of hormones in them.
Yes.
Ideally, I would like to be able to literally go to a farm and get like eggs and milk and
Yeah.
cheese.
I was literally just going to say that because when you hear stuff like grass-fed, pasture raised, like it's like, "Oh my god, expensive." Like that's a lot of money. But you don't need to go buy this at like Whole Foods. Like yes, it's
No.
you can find it at like a natural grocery store, but like if you're in an area where you're close to, like, a farm or going
Or a
to a
market.
farmer's market,
Yeah.
yeah, that is, like that is so amazing, like, I'm gonna do a lot more of that with, like, my meat and vegetables and eggs and stuff because it's just better, and you can support farmers, and I just love that, so
Me too.
yeah,
Wait till
we
you
need
go
to go
to
to the farmer's.
Italy.
I
I
know.
feel like I had an Italian girl that used to do my hair and she complained so much about how when she came over here she would like try to eat and things tasted worse, but they also made her feel so badly in terms of
Yeah,
her digestion and I'm like,
yeah.
"Oh, everything is just so heavily processed."
Yeah,
Like
it is, and that's a
everything.
yeah. So, like, if you're to take one thing away from this, like, well, that question is like, don't like Mel said, don't worry so much about like the dairy and the gluten and the this. Just like minimally processed is what you want to go for. Like, if ultimately, like, I know this is not, not everyone can like think like this or do this, and even me, like, it's hard sometimes. But like, if you can't like get it from a farm, like, or it made from the earth like a potato or a piece of fruit, like, or, animal protein, like, don't eat it. Like, I don't do that completely. Like I said, I like my little like box healthy pancake mix and things like that, but ultimately, like, I really want to try to like start for me to like not have so much of that because I can even tell my gut health is good now, but I can even tell sometimes when I overconsume those processed foods that I just am like, I don't feel as good, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, next question. Try to be quick with this one. What to drink in the AM besides coffee and cream? I have matcha sometimes, so a lot of the times I like my matcha.
Why does
It's
it
really
have to be
good.
coffee and
Tea,
cream?
Mel?
Why I you don't need
Yeah, it can be
listen,
anything.
we also I mean, I would drink water first before I wake up, always.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I I really hate that coffee is the first thing I consume in the morning. I really, really do. Number 1, you don't need caffeine when you first get out of bed. Like, you are
yeah.
refreshed and what is it? Your adenosine receptors. Like they're that's I think caffeine blocks the adenosine, and the adenosine is like flushed out of your system while you're sleeping. That's what makes you tired, I think. So when you
Yes.
wake up, there's no adenosine. You don't need coffee to feel awake, like you're already awake. I wish I
Yeah.
could like save my coffee until like 2 p.m. or something when I start to feel a bit gassed, if I do.
Mhm.
Um, but I would just drink water. And honestly, I try really hard. I have for the last like week too. I've gotten back into it because I'm trying to be super healthy. Just having um, a scoop of glutamine in the water and just drink it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love doing that. I used to make this like little like lemon water. I did like a vitamin C powder from a company called Designs for Health, which is phenomenal. It's like orange flavored. I do glutamine, lysine, like this liver tincture. I'd make like a little tincture water thing and then drink that. Wait like I don't know, 30-ish minutes, and then I would make a matcha, which is like less caffeine than coffee. But I will say, like you said, Mel, when you get up in the morning, that's when you should feel refreshed. And that's also when your cortisol is naturally the highest. Like cortisol is like that, gets you going. Like, people are like, oh, you want to lower your cortisol, lower it, lower it. Like in the morning, you're supposed to actually have higher cortisol. It's what wakes you up and like starts your day. So to reach for caffeine already when your cortisol is like high sometimes isn't the best. And someone we love, Andrew Huberman.
Mhm.
Look him up if you haven't already looked him up. He talks a lot about like waiting to have caffeine, like an hour and a half after you wake up, so 90 minutes. And it actually like it will do something. I don't know. He's a scientist. I'm not going to try to like spit this correctly, but it does something with your energy where it's like more sustained instead of like having it right when you wake up and then it like shooting and then you kind of like even starting to like, oh my god, I'm feeling a little sleepy at like 11, 11 a.m., 12, because you just shot your body with caffeine, your cortisol's already high, so then you kind of have this like dip. So he's like, try to wait to have it, which I don't do 90 minutes, you guys. I don't. I do like 40, 45, but it's also like a ritual to me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm not gonna have any caffeine or a drink in the morning or whatever, because I love it. Mel loves it too. Like first thing, like she loves have her little water and has the coffee going. And like every time I stay with Mel, she always wakes up before me and like the house smells like coffee. I'm like, ah, yes. So I don't know. I think, I don't think like, again, coffee's a bad thing or any type of caffeine, but if you can like wait a little bit and drink water first, that would be key.
Ideal.
Ideal. Ideal. Okay. Do you have anything else to add to that? Are we good? Should we move on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Um, This kind of goes back to the second question. Someone said, I wake up feeling so full. Could that be delayed gastric emptying? Meaning like
Mm.
you're not emptying, you're not having bowel movements, or you're eating really late before bed. So I would say yes, that could be. Um, but also like ask yourself, are you eating really late? Like what is your last meal? Are you going to the bathroom? Are you having normal bowel movements? Because that is a really frustrating feeling when you wake up feeling like full. And like I can speak for myself, when I used to wake up and my stomach was like so distended and I would also barely eat, it's because I wasn't going to the bathroom. I was extremely like severely constipated. And I was having such a hard time like regulating that. So I would just like focus on like bowel movements for sure, because that can be frustrating. So, this question, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I've never woken up feeling full in my life, so I can't. Like even if I overeat the night before, I wake up more hungry. So
Oh, you're one of the rare ones. I hate you. Well, actually, I think that's a normal thing to feel. I'm just one of the weird ones. That doesn't happen so much anymore though. I actually am like waking up hungry now. And I'm like,
that's
ooh, this
so
is how a normal
good.
person should feel. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good.
Um, this person wrote, does psyllium husk really work for the gut? I just got into like the whole like soluble fiber thing, which is what psyllium husk is. Like this year and a little bit of last year. um, because I know how good like fiber is for your gut and for your bowel movements and going to the bathroom. So I have like a ton of beans. And which is soluble fiber, which is what psyllium husk is. I have like a meal of beans every single day, and I used to like think those were like the devil. Like, oh my god, they make you like bloated. Like I feel way better when I eat them. I feel like things are moving. I feel like flatter, tighter, my stomach. But I sometimes will also have psyllium husk if I'm feeling like constipated. Like I was just in India and Dubai, and I like brought my little psyllium husk drinks or my little like the powder. You can also take it in like a capsule form, and a lot of fiber supplements. Like, doesn't Revive have a fiber supplement with like,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Like you
Mhm.
take that,
Oh, yeah.
don't you? You put that in
Not
like a smoothie?
not every day,
No.
but if I'm, like, having a smoothie probably, like, 3, 4 times a week, yeah, and Ian
Do you feel
takes
like
it.
it helps? Do you like it? Or do you like fiber supplements? I got a lot of questions about fiber supplements too.
I've just always used a fiber. Like, honestly, even back in the day when I was with AD, he was
Yeah.
really big into the fiber. So, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, my entire, like, last 8 years I've been using it, and, like,
Yeah.
so, yeah, I like it. I
Yeah.
don't know, I feel I've always have had, like, pretty regular bowel movements and
Yeah.
digestion, and I don't
Yeah.
know if that's because of that or because of something else, but
Yeah. Well, I think just like making sure you eat enough fiber is important. And I understand if you have gut issues, if it's like uncomfortable to eat like these big salads or tons of vegetables because you already feel like I can't digest and like I'm putting all these raw veggies in my stomach and I'm like, it makes me more bloated. I know I felt like that when I was going through like the hardest part of my gut issues. Um, so I think having something like a fiber supplement can help just get things moving because when you are feeling bloated and then you can't go to the bathroom on top of it, it's like the worst. It becomes painful. It's like so uncomfortable. So I think psyllium husk is really beneficial, and any type of soluble fiber, you can just Google like what foods have soluble fiber in them and try to incorporate more of those into your diet slowly if you have gut issues. If you don't have issues, like up the fiber. Fiber is like so important for detoxing like certain hormones and like excess estrogen. Like you need fiber. So definitely. Okay, this said, can you bust or confirm any common myths? Example, apple cider vinegar, etc. Do you know like a gut myth? Do you have it or like any type of myth? Like, have you heard anything?
no, I mean, I just hate when people, like, won't, you know, drink milk because, like,
Yes, yes,
Instagram said that we need to have almond milk, you know what I mean?
yes.
I just don't stuff like that, but I don't know anything about the apple cider vinegar thing. I would never do that, so I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
I mean, isn't there some rumor that drinking lemon water is supposed to, like, do something for you?
Okay, lemon. Yeah, like it's a trendy thing. Like the bone broth and the lemon water, like those things are amazing for you. Yes, but I don't think like everyone needs lemon water. Like they say like warm lemon water in the morning, it can help again get things moving. It's not going to like, detox you. People go just it's going to detox you. Like lemon's very good for you, a lot of vitamin C, but like it's not I mean, it's there's nothing like I guess.
Groundbreaking.
Yes, about lemon water. Like, I love lemon water, but I don't think it's like this, "Oh my god" thing. Apple cider vinegar, I will say, I also got a lot of questions being like, "What supplement can I take? I'm always bloated. I don't feel good before I eat." Apple cider vinegar before you eat a meal or a heavy meal or just like a small amount, like a teaspoon. You can work your way up to a tablespoon. Dilute it in water. Never take it straight back. Um, can be really good for blood sugar regulation. So, like regulating your blood sugar, actually, and also for your gut. So, it can help produce something called hydrochloric acid, which is needed to break down protein. So, taking a little bit of apple cider vinegar before like a protein heavy meal or a bigger meal, or just to start your day, can actually be really, really, really beneficial. So that's one thing that I will say is not
A
a
myth.
like a myth. I mean, there's tons of research on it. I take it to this day. It's not the best tasting, but I'm just like swig it back and chase it with like a little poppy or an Olipop drink. It's great.
And you do that before you eat or in the morning?
Before I eat. Like
Mm.
before I eat, like if I'm like having a really like heavy protein meal,
Mhm.
I'll just take a little bit. You don't even need a lot. And it's really good. It can help just like aid digestion, and it's not expensive. You don't need to go buy a fancy supplement. It's literally apple cider vinegar. Like you can get it at any grocery store, very
Mhm.
inexpensive. So
Mhm.
I would say that is actually a good one. Okay. Um, favorite gut healthy snacks. Okay. Okay. Let me
I
get
wish Ian
Mel. Do
was
you want to
here.
go? You'd be
Ian would
like,
be
there
like,
is none.
"What the fuck is a snack? You don't need snacks."
Okay, you guys don't listen. I love when I'm bored, I'm like, bring me to the pantry. What can I have? A small square of chocolate. This. Like I like to snack. I do. When I got my body like really good and I like got my gut health in check in like 2020 and I lost some weight, it all came down to regulating my blood sugar. I swear to God, walking more steps, regulating my blood sugar, and not snacking. I used to be a snacker, a healthy snacker, granola, maybe with some coconut yogurt, like in between meals. Freaking, I don't know. I'm not demonizing fruit, just like, fruit, and fruit's a great snack. It's great. There's fiber in it. Like it's amazing. Minerals, vitamins, all the things, but I would just like snack constantly. And I would never be like hungry for my next meal because I was just like eating little snacks. I would just be like, oh, I should probably eat like a real meal, but like I don't really want to because I just had like all these macadamia nuts or all like whatever. And I think when you have like gut issues, taking time between when you eat, like meal spacing at least like 4 hours, can help you tenfold. I think snacking in between meals is not the best if you're struggling with your gut health. By all means, if you're starving, yeah, reach for like a snack, maybe like high in protein or high in fat over like sugar. But I don't think snacking when your gut is like really inflamed or you're having gut health issues is good at all. Do you agree? What do you
Yeah,
say?
I when I was helping Leah before her wedding,
Yeah.
and she was trying to lose weight, she works. So she's a teacher, so she's at
Yeah.
school all day, and she gets hungry, and she's like, "Well, what can I have that's like something I can like just like have at my desk if I need to, that's not a salad or chicken and rice or
Right.
whatever."
Right.
And I would just have her bring like hard-boiled eggs and like, celery and cucumber, or like honestly
Yeah.
carrots, but with the hard-boiled eggs, because
Yes.
yeah, I personally, when I'm snacking, it's like never positive, I'm like
Yeah.
eating out of boredom, or I'm like, I have like a sugar craving and I'm trying
Yeah.
to like, so I want to eat some chocolate. But like,
Yeah.
if I'm actually like practicing self-discipline and like being healthy, I don't really, I feel like snacking's not like the best. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I agree. I think, yes, if you are someone who, like, I have kids, I'm busy, I'm a teacher, I'm doing this job, I'm running around, I need something like quick. What Mel said, like hard boiled eggs, some vegetables, like maybe some hummus. If you get hummus and carrots or cucumber, I think there's something I love. Oh my God. Remember you've tried it, jicama?
Oh
It's my
yeah.
baby.
Oh, I
Okay,
haven't had
jicama
that since Florida. Oh my
is like
God.
this, it's like a I had a friend, she was from Mexico, and it's like a Mexican turnip. It's called like I'm probably like totally saying the name wrong,
Yeah, it's
but
a
it
root
tastes
vegetable, isn't
yeah,
it?
it's a root vegetable. It's a
Yeah.
root vegetable that's like crunchy, like an apple or like a pear, but it's not as sweet.
It's kind of like watermelon texture a little bit, you
Yeah,
know?
and I like cut it up in chunks. It has a lot of prebiotics in it, so it's really good for your gut health. If I'm like, and there, it's like it's heavy. It's like crunchy, so you're like, ooh, it's like a good little snack. It's not high in calories, like you're not like it's not high in fat. It's good for you. It's amazing for you. It's low in sugar, and I'll have that as a snack. I actually just literally ate like half a freaking jicama last night. It was so good. Because I was going in the sauna. I was like, I'm starving. Like, what should I eat? But I'm like, not trying to have a huge meal before I go like sit in a sauna and sweat. I felt like, ooh. So I was just eating this little jicama sticks. It was great. It was lovely. So I think that's a great snack. Um, a protein shake if you're like in between meals and you're like, I need something. I think that's a great snack and you get a lot of protein. A
I
low
also
sugar protein bar, low
I also
sugar.
feel like mindless eating though is like not a good
No,
habit, you know? Like when
no,
I
it's
think
not.
about snacking, it seems like very mindless, like I'm just standing and grabbing something and eating, or I'm like
Yeah,
driving and I'm eating. And to me,
yeah,
I'm like,
it's not good.
no. And realistically, you should never, like, you shouldn't get to a point where like your blood sugar's so low that you like need a snack, you know? Like
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
so, I don't know. I would, like,
I
obviously
would
it's
just make sure you're
go
oh, no.
ahead.
You go. No,
It's,
no.
it,
No, I
it
didn't wanna cut you off.
It's fun when you're, like, at a party or when you're, like, celebrating, like, 4th of July or something, 100%. Like,
Yes.
that's different, but, like, on the day to day, I don't think it's, like, the best, you know?
No, I completely agree. I think your meal should be satiating enough where you're heavy on the protein, carbs, fat, and you feel good. So, like, when 4 hours rolls around or 3 or however, 5, I don't know, and you're like, "Oh, like, I'm hungry again." Like, not like your blood sugar drops like Mel said, and you're like, "Oh my god, I'm, like, starving, I'm hangry." It's like, well, you probably didn't eat enough in your last meal, and now that's why, like, an hour later, you're like, "What can I snack on?" Because you didn't fill up enough, you gotta nourish yourself. So, yeah, that would be our take on the snacks, guys, but there are some healthy snacks, but make sure you're eating enough food so you don't want a snack.
Mhm.
Um Someone said, "What is the best type of protein powder for IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome?" I think honestly, something with just like low, again, like the nut milks, like not a lot of gums or heavy sweeteners or artificials is going to be your best bet. Like literally, like a natural, like either vegan protein powder, goat milk, whey, something that's just very, it might not taste the best, not gonna lie, but like very plain, if you're going to have protein powder. Would you agree? Different? What do you say?
I know nothing about that. I
Okay.
am blessed with the ability to
Have
whatever.
everything. Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I choose my protein powder based on
She's
taste.
yeah, she's a rare one. But I don't know. Yeah. I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole with that because that's just like just minimally processed. Like protein powder is processed, clearly,
Yeah.
but something with like small amount
Simple.
of simple. Yeah, not a lot of ingredients. Someone said how to digest protein with ease. I would say if you're having trouble digesting protein, it's an acid problem, meaning not like you have too much acid in your stomach, but you don't have enough. So, like, we need that hydrochloric acid. Your body produces it naturally. As you get older, it decreases. You don't make as much of it. So, how to increase that? You can do the apple cider vinegar. You can take something called HCL, which is hydrochloric acid,
Is that
before you
betaine?
eat. Yeah, betaine. Yeah, betaine HCL with pepsin before you eat a protein heavy meal. Um, Again, work with your doctor, someone you trust. Don't just go take this randomly because it can cause issues if you don't need it. You know what I'm saying? Like I needed it at a time in my life. Because I couldn't digest any protein. It was really, really hard. Um, so those are some things I would focus on, just increasing, making sure gut health is on point, increasing acid so you can break down protein. Protein is the hardest macronutrient to break down.
Yeah, Ian also obviously consumes a very high amount of protein.
Yeah.
Um and I believe because of that he kind of has some problems with digestion, but recently he's been taking betaine consistently before like every second meal of the day because his meals have like the amount of protein he has in one meal is probably what I eat in my entire day right now.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But it's been helping a lot.
That's good. That's
That and a
great.
few other supplements, like, I feel like are making a big difference.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe a digestive enzyme,
Mhm.
if you are having digestive issues, I think those can help. I don't think we should reach for a supplement right away, but like in Ian's case or someone who has like gut health issues, they can definitely help for sure.
Mhm,
But like
mhm.
Melissa, like she can eat and she has really like good gut health and it's pretty optimal. So I mean, you're not like popping digestive enzymes before you eat every meal.
No, oh my god.
No.
If we
No,
go out to
exactly.
eat, like
Right.
we went out for Italian food, for example, and I like went in on like pasta and cheese and like charcuterie and stuff. I
Yeah.
definitely took a digestive and um
Yeah.
like a glucose supplement before, but
Yeah,
no,
which
not
is great.
regularly.
Yeah, but like you're not going to do that every meal.
No.
No, cuz you're yeah, and you shouldn't. You shouldn't need to do that. Like if you need some help and support, like if you're struggling, yes. Or if you're going to go in on something and you know like I'm going to have a lot of sugar, carbs, whatever
Mhm.
and you're enjoying yourself, yeah, it could help. But you shouldn't do it every meal cuz it kind of it's taking away like your body's natural ability to digest. You know, we shouldn't
Mhm.
have to rely on supplements. We're not supplement deficient. You know, no
Mhm.
one needs supplements. They can help, and I think they are amazing, but we don't need them.
Mhm.
Um, someone's saying, do you take the Seed brand probiotic? I hear so many influencers promote
This
it.
this must
Yeah.
be some company that has just reached out to all of the, you know, fitness, fashion, makeup, whatever fitness influencers and is paying them to. I'm sure they're actually taking it because
Yeah.
let's be serious, I take a probiotic,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's a brand that has a very good marketing strategy.
Yeah. You guys, this comes back to you know, me and Mel talked about this in another podcast. Like everything you hear, even stuff from us, like do your own research on it. Like
Mhm.
I don't like it could be great and it could also like not be great. And yeah, this is I mean, I don't know much about this company, so I don't want to speak like poorly or anything, but I do see a lot of influencers promote this product and you know, being an influencer companies will reach out and they'll say, "Hey, will you post this? Will you do this?" Or if you're in a contract, you're getting paid to post something, okay? So, being very real, like, you know, I'm not saying these people aren't taking these products. I think that, you know, again, this company could be great, probably is great. But just because an influencer is taking it and being like, "This is the thing," doesn't mean it's going to be the thing for you. So, I think just being able to do your own research and look into it and what are the different strands. I don't know, you know, there's certain strands that actually can help like your skin. There's certain strands that if you have a gut if you have a gut like infection or like dysbiosis, like there's something like imbalanced in the gut and you take a probiotic like blindly, sometimes it can actually make it worse. Like I had something called SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. That is a bitch to tackle. My functional medicine doctor at the time was like, "I'm not throwing bacteria at your in your gut because you have a your small intestine is overproducing bad bacteria already. So we need to like regulate before I start hitting you with probiotics." So this is where like again like working with someone, not just taking stuff blindly can help because it can you know just taking something if you don't like know exactly if you're not clear it can I don't want to say cause more issues but you just it could make maybe your situation not the best or it could make it great so or experiment you guys take it if it works and you're like oh my god I notice amazing things awesome keep going if you don't then don't you know like if it's just kind of like a trial and error I had to do a lot of that on my own too so yeah, but I think probiotics are good. I take one now. It's good. Um, someone asked what to do when your body is dependent on a supplement in order to go to the bathroom.
Are we talking like laxatives? Like
I mean, they just said supplement. They didn't say laxative. What would you say?
I mean, this is just going back to everything that Courtney's been talking about and probably getting off everything and oversimplifying everything that you're doing in a day and then taking notes on how your body is reacting.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know very much about testing for anything, but, like, for me, if I was having any issues, I would just simplify everything, make sure that I'm not taking any supplements, not taking anything that has additives in it or anything like that. I would, like, stop using, like, mustard, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would just be, like, eating very slowly, and I'd be eating whole foods in small amounts, and I would see what's happening. And if doing that for a multitude of days did absolutely nothing, I would be going to probably a naturopath and being like, "I need to, like, do something," or, like,
Yeah.
whatever stool you can get out, sample it. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
that's what I would do personally.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. When your body is like dependent on something, um yeah, yeah, like you gotta simplify. You gotta really get clear on why it is dependent on that, and maybe like is there a deeper rooted issue to kind of like nail that down. But that can be tricky. That can be frustrating for sure.
I worked with a girl, a couple years ago, and she had a lot of issues with bloating and going to the bathroom, and, she was super weight loss resistant, and it, like, got to a point where, like, I had done everything I could, in
Yeah.
terms of, like, "Okay, let's stop eating the sugar-free chocolate. Let's stop doing all these things that we're adding in, and let's pull back the stress on the body." So, no training, like, light intensity cardio, and nothing was changing, and I had to tell her that, like, I suggest that you go see, I mean, I think I referred her to
Mm,
Alan Kress, and I was like, I would do, like, a Dutch test and see what's
yeah.
going on and,
Yeah.
like, try to actually track, like, get some data instead of
Yes.
just, like, there's only so much you can do blindly without a response until you actually need to get some data so you can start making informed decisions, because there's so many things that could be going on inside that, like, you could never, like, figure out without actually having that information, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I completely agree because I'm all about like simplifying, just eat whole foods, but sometimes there's a deeper rooted issue. There's
Mhm.
like, you need to do a stool sample, you need to do a Dutch test with which can like look at your hormones really in depthly, and it's done through urine. You need to do some like, pretty in detailed blood work. Like, I think all of that is so important, but if you're just having like some gut issues, before maybe you jump to that, you need to like simplify a lot and like see where you're at for a few weeks. And if you're still dealing with stuff, yeah, go work with a coach who can test you. Go see a doctor. Um Preferably like a functional medicine naturopathic type of doctor because they will usually run those in-depth tests for you. Um, it can be expensive. A lot of the times insurance doesn't cover it, but I mean, it's beneficial. It's
Mhm.
really beneficial because then you like Mel, you said you have that data to kind of like navigate and like work with like, oh, you're just dealing with maybe like, I don't know, some type of infection or bacteria or mold, I don't know, whatever it could be that's like making things really uncomfortable. I definitely have utilized my doctors at times when I was struggling, like with my energy and fatigue. I was on thyroid medication. I took antibiotics in the past for my SIBO because it was so bad and I was trying so hard to cure it with herbs, which can work, but like it can take months. And I was like miserable already for months. And my functional medicine doctor was like, hey, like I want you to take these antibiotics. We are going to replenish your bacteria after, but you are at a point right now where like we're kind of at a standstill and I can see like this is really affecting your mental health and it's frustrating. So let's pivot. And I'm like, great, all for it. So getting that data, getting really clear is also crucial when it comes to figuring out what is going on with your gut health. Sometimes it's really simple, like cut out the processed stuff, cut out the junk, reduce your stress, sleep better. Boom. It's like, oh, wow, my gut's back to normal. And sometimes you do need more in depth stuff. Okay. I don't want to keep, well, let's end with um most common signs of an imbalanced gut. This can be like a number of things, but I would say the gut, like, really plays a role in a lot of things. They say it's like your second brain. Like, it a lot of times acne, which is popping up on your skin, is like a gut health related problem. It's not just like, oh, it's only in the stomach. Like, it could be just extra inflammation. I don't know, hormones getting out of whack. It can stem from the gut. Like, really, gut health is, I think, like the foundation when it comes to feeling healthy. I think, yes, like your thyroid, your sex hormones, all of that for sure. But I think the gut can really play such a big role in how all those other things are working. Even if you're someone who's like, I don't have gut health issues, like just making sure you're doing things to optimize your gut health. I think anyone can benefit from. Like even Mel, like she has a great gut, but she still like takes probiotics, tries to limit her shitty food, she eats really good. She has fiber in her diet. She eats whole foods. She takes care of her body. She's not, I think when we stop like caring, it's like, "Oh, I'm fine. Like I don't need that." That's when things can like slowly start to arise, I guess. So, yeah, do you have anything to add to that?
I don't really I feel like you just know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
I knew.
I feel like your body is just like off, and your mood is probably off, your
Mm,
energy is
yep.
probably off, like your bowel movements, like look at the shit in the toilet, and like if sorry, but if it's not normal and it's not consistent, there's probably something at whatever varying degree going on. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And then like I don't know, I just feel like I think especially with like this like mental health era that we're in and all these like antidepressants that are being prescribed and stuff, I think the first thing that we really should be looking at is like the gut microbiome and like the I don't know, the seal around your like what is it? Leaky gut, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like things
Yeah.
like that because like so much of your serotonin is produced in the gut, and if it's not staying in there and making its way where it needs to, like you're not going to feel great. Some of your dopamine is produced in there. Like
Yeah.
these are the neurotransmitters in your body that are like designed to motivate you, energize you and make you feel good.
Yes,
And like
exactly.
they are made in your gut. Like this is I don't know. I just feel like I'm all for like medication, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
my husband's on an antidepressant. Like I get it, but I do think before we jump to it, there's like a huge gap in the medical community. And I think it's
Yeah.
closing for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I remember doing my thesis in 2018 and it was on like your gut and mental health.
Wow.
And
Wow.
it was you know why I what the thesis was? I had to pick like a hot topic
Yeah.
that like was kind of like we didn't know if it was real or true or not.
Yeah.
And I had to either prove it or disprove it.
So
And
did
it
you prove
was
it?
I proved it to be real, but
Yeah.
in the literature that like we were studying in 2018, it was not a known fact,
Wow.
which is wild because that's not even that long ago.
No, it's not. It's what,
And
like
now you
5,
listen
6
to
years?
anybody, you know, you listen to Huberman, you listen to Will Cole, and all they're talking about is this like I don't know, it's just wild how fast things can change.
Yeah.
And I think right now we're kind of auto-correcting from the like pharmaceutical like, you know, was amazing technology at the time, but now we're
Yeah.
kind of like finding out that there's other things and
Yeah.
other ways to heal more naturally to get us back to our natural state. Um and I would just like be really in tune with your body and
Yeah.
like you're supposed to feel good. You're not
Yeah.
supposed to be tired. You're not supposed to have insomnia like and for me, I'm someone that takes like uber personal responsibility in my life. So,
Yeah.
if I wake up one day and I'm bloated, I usually can pick something that I did before that may have caused it.
Yeah.
And my choice on how to move forward is to not do that thing that it might have been. And if you
Yes.
slowly do that over time, you're going to get to a place where you know your body so well and you feel so good and you know how to feel good that it's just life.
Yes. 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 I mean, shit. I just want to like end with a bang and there because really like you can reach for outside sources for answers and help and direction totally, but like it really, this is a big thing too, related back to what you were saying with the gut and the mind and vice versa. Like if your nervous system is not regulated, if you are constantly like stressed and fight or flight and worried and anxious, and you have all, like we talked about in the last gut health episode, you will never fix your gut health. So it goes vice versa. Like, yes, like an imbalanced gut can start to affect you mentally. And then mentally, if you're not good, you can start to experience gut issues. And it's hard to heal and fix that when your mind is like, jumbled and you're stressed as shit and there's like so much going on. So, slow down, relax, get back in your body, get back in tune with your body. No influencer, no doctor, no person is going to have all the answers. We need to take responsibility, like you said, Mel. That's so powerful, and be like, okay, let's start to like work through this here. How can I better assist myself, treat myself to get better? Like when I fixed my gut health, I wasn't working with a doctor at the time. I was doing all my own research. I was really in tune with what felt good, like not snacking, like certain meals and certain things, and walking more and less time on social media and working on my mental health. And that all together helped my gut health. It's not just like
Mhm.
one thing or one pill or one person or one piece of advice or one diet. Like it's really just like simplifying and moving forward. So that's where I think we'll end off. Do you think we should add any more? I feel like this is a long one.
I don't know.
Sorry,
This this
guys.
this is
Maybe we'll do
your
another.
jam. This
I
is like
know.
your like passion, you know?
Yeah. No, I know. There's a lot of other freaking questions. So maybe like next month we'll do like a part two of like, I don't know, like different diets. And people are saying oatmeal's bad. And what about this and intermittent fasting? Like again, it's like let's just like work with our bodies. What feels good for your body? Something that
We
might
need
work for
to do an
someone.
episode on fasting because I feel
Yeah.
like that's like something that like we both practice and that
Yeah.
we both are into and I feel
Hmm.
like people are interested and
Totally.
again, we're
Yep.
not doctors and we're not telling anyone how to be or how to eat, but like we can speak from our personal experience.
Yes, exactly. And that's all I want this to be. Like just
Yeah.
our personal experience, and you guys take everything with, what we say with like just take it with a grain of salt. Right, that's the analogy. That's the proper
Yes.
analogy.
Yes.
Research it yourself. This is just our experience, but yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in for this little bonus episode. We love you and appreciate you. I leave next week. Mel's going to be back here next month. So we're going to have some in person potting.
How wild.
I know. I'm so
So
happy.
crazy.
It's been
Yeah.
way too long.
It's been a
Um,
long time.
Seriously. So yeah,
So
I mean, this will be out like next week. You're doing Ian. We're recapping Ian, right? You're going to redo
yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
The next one will be me and Ian or Ian and I, and then we'll see if you're back from, well,
Okay.
no, you won't be back from your trip.
We'll figure it out. Will I?
They might get Ian
I
and I
will the day
twice.
before.
No, they'll probably get Ian and I twice or something, but we'll figure it out.
Okay, we'll figure it out. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in. We love you so much. Until next time.
Yes. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Wait, I have one more thing to say.
Oh, yeah. What?
So someone at the gym was like, "You need to end with give her a listen." And I was like, "Ooh!" So shout out to that guy. He's a Marine. Thank you for your service. He listens to to us. He's like, "I listen to you and Mel." I'm like, "Oh, I love you."
Is that not the cutest thing?
I know.
When people come up to me and say that they listen, I just like I don't know, I get like so emotional. It
I
hasn't like
know.
it's still new for me,
Yeah.
but when I saw people at Fuad's show and they were coming up and they were like, "Keep going. We love listening." And I'm just like so like I feel kind of weird, but I'm also so like emotional because it's like
Yeah.
I don't know, it's special, you know?
Yeah, it's so special. Well, we love you guys. I love you, Mel. Give her a listen, baby,
Yeah,
and we
give
will
her a
see you.
listen. Give
We
her
will
a subscribe and a like and a
Yeah.
comment too.
Yeah. Yeah. Only if you like us. Okay, guys. Well, we'll see you
Okay.
next week.
Bye guys.
Bye.